In the 18th century, visiting a doctor was a terrifying gamble. The prevailing standard of care was heroic medicine, an approach to treating the sick that relied on extreme, painful physical interventions that were often more dangerous than the diseases themselves. To balance the body's supposedly misaligned humors, physicians drained massive amounts of blood from weak patients and forced violent purging. If bleeding didn't work, patients were fed highly toxic chemical cocktails. Heavy metals like mercury and arsenic were routine prescriptions, systematically poisoning people under the guise of therapy. This medical establishment operated on a flawed premise. Instead of assisting the human body's natural immune response, 18th century medicine waged a violent, destructive war against it. Samuel Hahnemann grew up in poverty in Saxony, Germany. To claw his way out, the young genius mastered over 7 languages, leveraging his translation skills to pay his way through medical school. But achieving his medical degree brought a profound moral crisis. Hahnemann realized his prescriptions were actively killing his patients. Unable to tolerate the harm he was causing, Hahnemann made a drastic choice. He completely abandoned his medical practice, returning to poverty and the grueling work of translating foreign medical texts just to feed his wife and children. Medicine was in a state of terrifying chaos. The world lacked a healing system that worked with the body's natural vital forces, and for a decade, Hahnemann searched for another way. In 1790, while translating William Cullen's renowned Materia Medica, Hahnemann hit a snag. The author claimed that Peruvian cinchona bark cured malaria simply because it had a bitter action on the stomach. Hahnemann knew enough about chemistry to reject that explanation outright. He decided to test the toxic bark on himself. While in perfectly normal health, he ingested daily doses of the crude substance and carefully documented every physical reaction. Almost immediately, he developed intermittent chills, severe joint pain, and a spiking fever. He was experiencing the exact textbook symptoms of malaria itself. The symptoms stopped when he paused the doses and returned when he resumed them. Hahnemann deduced a concept that would form his new medical system. A substance capable of causing specific symptoms in a healthy person can cure those identical symptoms in a sick person. He called it the law of Similia, like cures like. To build a new library of treatments, Hahnemann invented a rigorous clinical methodology called proving. He systematically tested 99 different raw substances on healthy volunteers, mapping out every resulting physical and emotional symptom to create detailed drug profiles. When he applied these profiles to sick patients, he hit an immediate roadblock. Administering raw, crude substances to already weakened bodies caused severe, toxic aggravations of their illness. His solution was extreme dilution. He reduced the drug along a precise mathematical scale, pausing to violently strike the vial against a surface, a kinetic process called succussion. Hahnemann theorized this stripped away the physical toxicity entirely while awakening its dynamic, curative energy. This inverted conventional scientific logic. In Hahnemann's system of homeopathy, reducing the physical presence of the drug actually amplified its healing power. The medical establishment attacked him relentlessly. Because he dispensed his own highly diluted medicines, angry pharmacists and rival doctors labeled him a quack and ran him out of town. But his clinical results silenced his loudest critics. During deadly scarlet fever outbreaks, he successfully treated entire families with diluted belladonna, and later saved scores of Napoleon's typhus-stricken soldiers camped outside Leipzig. He compiled these meticulous human trials and laws into his masterwork, The Organon of Medicine. By the end of his life, he had relocated to Paris, running an immensely successful practice sought out by international royalty. Through sheer persistence, Hahnemann proved that careful observation and systematic human testing could build a complete system of medicine from the ground up. Following his death in 1843, homeopathy exploded globally. By the year 1900, the United States alone boasted over 100 dedicated homeopathic hospitals and dozens of medical colleges teaching his methods. This dominance triggered an aggressive pushback in the 20th century. Organizations like the American Medical Association actively campaigned to break homeopathy's hold on healthcare and standardized conventional allopathic treatments. Then came the era of the miracle drug. The invention of synthetic pharmaceuticals and antibiotics offered a level of immediate, aggressive speed that gentle homeopathic remedies couldn't match. The massive industrial scale and aggressive marketing of modern pharmacology simply outpaced homeopathy's slower, individualized process. A massive cultural pivot arrived in the 1970s. As the public grew increasingly terrified of the addictive qualities and side effects of synthetic drugs, millions began searching for natural alternatives. Homeopathy experienced a modern resurgence. Today, it operates as a heavily integrated component of national healthcare systems across Europe and India. Hahnemann's legacy is the enduring demand for healthcare that is gentle, individualized, and deeply respectful of the human body's own vital force, principles that continue to shape how millions of people seek healing 2 centuries later.